Hi, friends. Welcome to another holiday episode of That Sounds Fun. I'm your host, Annie F. Downs. I am so happy to be here with you today. Oh, keep sticking around. You know we have got those That Sounds Fun network hosts telling us their favorite Christmas snacks. I love how much you're loving that. Me too. More to come today. Before we dive into today's conversation, though, I want to tell you about one of our incredible sponsors, Athletic Greens. I know you've seen Athletic Greens everywhere and heard me talk about it a lot, but that is for a reason, you guys. AG1 by Athletic Greens is such a great way for me to get my nutritional bases covered for the day. Plus, in a season with all the sicknesses flying around, it is really helpful in boosting my immune system and hopefully warding off all the things. Their all-in-one formula is just one scoop that's packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients of the highest quality that give me major benefits like gut and mood support, boosted energy, and even healthier looking skin, hair, and nails. All I do is mix one scoop of powder in cold water once a day. AG1 is super easy and was designed with simplicity in mind, so you can live healthier and better without having to do a lot. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Just go to athleticgreens.com/soundsfun. That's athleticgreens.com/soundsfun. Y'all check it out. Today on the show, y'all know at Christmas, we love talking about cooking. We love talking about decorating. We love talking about gift giving. So I made the call to one of my favorite follows on Instagram. And I am so happy that I get to talk today with my new friend, Sabrina Chazen. Y'all have probably seen me share her recommendations on Instagram because I love her. And she has helped me find some really fun clothes. Sabrina is an inclusive fashion expert, helping brands extend their size ranges and sharing her shopping finds and lifestyle. And she is really fun too. If you're looking for some inspiration when it comes to your wardrobe, or if you still need a last minute Christmas or Hanukkah or New Year's Eve party outfit idea, or you're shopping for your girlfriends, go follow Sabrina on Instagram. Check out her ideas. I love that today we are getting to talk to one of our Jewish friends about her celebration of Hanukkah and Christmas and her experience of the world right now as well as talking about what we should be shopping for and buying. It's a fun and important episode. I think you're going to love getting to know her and follow her. And she is linking to everything we talk about today. And I am telling you, you need this eye roller. She's going to link so bad. You need it so bad. So here's my conversation with Sabrina Chazen. Sabrina Chazen, welcome to That Sounds Fun.
Thank you. I'm so excited. This sounds fun.
Oh my gosh, what an honor. We have to back up and tell people we are friends because we have mutual friends.
Our meet cute could be a real Hallmark movie. Like there's a
lot
of lead up.
Because you were already friends with Devin when I was friends with Jared, right? How long have you known our friend Devin that lives in your neck of the woods?
Whole life. Our dads are best friends.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And Jared was one of my Vanderbilt baseball players.
He's darling.
That was one of my Vandy boys, like a little brother to me. And when I saw you at the wedding, I literally on the plane the next day, I said to my friends, who was that? She's fabulous.
Oh, I thought for some reason I was like, do we know each other before that and didn't realize at the wedding? Internet friends, you know?
No, yeah. And then my friend was like, no, she's like a big deal influencer. And I was like, no, I didn't, but now I will follow.
Well, that's very kind. I wish, but we're on our way. There's only,
The other place that we were in the same place at the same time, Wicked the musical.
I honestly, that is like a night that I will never forget and change my life and my daughter's life. And the weirdest part is that you are like the intrinsic circle connection of the whole experience. So we're late to the show. I've seen Wicked multiple times. I saw it with Adina. I've seen it with Kristen. I've seen it in the West End. But we were going to New York. I was taking my daughter for the first time. And we have friends, same thing, another mother and daughter.
Yeah.
Coco was reading The Wizard of Oz in 3rd grade. So it was like the perfect musical to take her to for her first trip to New York. Yeah. So we get tickets. There's traffic. So quintessential New York. We have to get out of the cab, run to the show, the whole deal. I'm like, I'm a jumpy person, haven't loved movie theaters for a while. We're in the show and I see an usher like flashlighting to people. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Like something's wrong in the show. But I'm like trying to play it cool because I want Coco to experience like Broadway. Turns out it's you and your friends because we're there on her opening night, her Broadway debut as Elphaba. She's the understudy. And like that, I've seen so many amazing theater shows, but like for me, that's number one. Like seeing someone debut on Broadway with my daughter, all of you guys celebrating it. Like I cried. I was like, I'm DMing your friend who played Elphaba like a kook. Like, and then you messaged me and you were, because I posted I was there and you were like, I was there.
It was the best night. Well, I mean, watching someone debut on Broadway I don't know a paralleled experience to me.
Right. And in that
It's just
role, like, to
beautiful.
me, it, like, I had been changed for good. And the fact that you
That's
were
it.
there and it was your friend and Coco was there and
Yeah.
I mean, it's so magical and like such a meet cute for the
That's
books.
right. That's right.
Hmm.
Okay, so will you back me up? Tell me how you got started sharing about what people should be wearing and what they should be buying, and how did all this even kick off for you? This isn't what you studied in college.
No, political science.
Yeah.
However, yeah,
Oh.
right after college, I had a job in PR in LA and I got married very young. And my husband was in law school. We lived in LA. And I started a plus size fashion blog while I had a 9 to 5. It was
Oh, wow.
literally, so what is that, 15 years ago? It was on the precipice. Like when people first started blogging, you'd go to your
Right.
desk in the morning and check people's blogs, like actual URL.coms. But my husband was like, I can't deal with taking these pictures. Like, he's the nicest human on earth and he's in law
He is
school.
so
And he's like, I'm
nice.
not a photographer. I don't have an eye. Like, it's the only thing we bicker about. And he's like, hire a photographer. And I was like, I have a job. Like, this is silly. And I kind of just let it go. And it had started
Yeah.
picking up steam. It was called Sample Size 16. And like Neiman sent me plus size clothes. Like, it had a
Oh,
little,
wow.
those girls, there was like 10 of them total that started when I did, are like, millions of followers. They wrote for Vogue and Glamour. They were, the first people to help brands extend sizing. I missed the boat. But then I got back on for a new ride during COVID when the pandemic happened. Um,
Okay.
we were home, whatever. And I just was like, forget, like, I'm just going to post clothes like on my social media that was private and for friends. I made it public. I just started and it worked. Like, I think tagging people, climbing that, hustling. And so for the last 2.5 years, I've been just doing that. And I've had multiple collabs and, you know, um, got to consult for brands and help them extend their size range. This is a collab that I'm wearing right now, but I guess we're not
Oh, wow.
video.
We'll show clips too. So, yeah.
So yeah, it was just organic in that way, I guess.
I have been about the same size, give or take a few
Yep.
sizes, since I was in high school. And I have often said, and I would love your thoughts on this. I have often said if I'd have been able to see mid-size, plus-size women styling clothes when I was in high school, I
Hmm.
would be so different. I mean, some of the pain and suffering I felt toward my own body as a teenager, I think would be so different if I'd have had women like you
Hmm.
and women like me who are wearing
Right.
mid-size, plus-size clothes in front of me going like, "Hey, you can buy that shirt and you can buy those pants and here's how they look." Would your life have been different if there'd have been yous when you were younger?
I think I'm very unique in that I've always like, some people have an eye and I just love clothes. My mom is similar. She's not as flashy as me. She's more understated, but she made it possible for me to dress how I wanted at any size. And she's 5'6".
Ah,
I'm 6'2". She's petite and
yes.
I'm not, but she always like helped me find things. So I had that like innate, but like I have a daughter and I'm so glad that when she is one day, I hope never, scrolling social media, like so many people are going to be in her face that look like her, bigger than her, different than
Yes.
her. And exactly what you said, like that was my mission from day one. I did this series called Same Style, Different Size.
I
And
love it.
and that's how I started, really, was matching with someone in a smaller body to show like, this is how a size 2 looks in this garment and this is how a size 22 looks in this garment, and we both can wear it. And I think brands pick, I don't think, I know, I mean,
Yes.
such a humble beginning here.
No,
The
that's
the
true.
idea took off without me, unfortunately, but I'm glad that it took off. Like, I
Yes.
started doing that, and then brands started doing that, and then
Right.
people started doing that, and you see it a lot. You're going to see like extra small, size large, and size 3X in the same garment, and people see that all the time now. You're welcome. And
Yes.
I do think it matters, and I do think it makes a difference, and I do think it will help everybody, because it's not just people in those bodies, it's people in smaller bodies too who need to see that and be motivated to extend their sizing. A lot of brands are afraid. It's not that easy just to scale up. Like we always say, just make 2 more sizes, but everything changes as it gets bigger, just like everything changes as something gets smaller. It's not just a simple like make it bigger, but when they see the engagement and the plus size community supporting, then they're motivated. Like money talks and statistics matter. And, you know, the majority of people are a size 12, 14, 16, 18 in America, plus. So I think like seeing it, the representation, as you said, really does make a difference on all ends.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm sure it existed to some degree in the 90s and early 2000s. I don't remember it.
No.
Yeah, I mean, in the magazines, it wasn't in the magazines.
No.
We certainly didn't have social media.
Or on the runways, or
right.
just no. Yeah.
Right. And now I can search mid-size clothing or plus size clothing on Instagram and find 20 women who have found things on Amazon, though I'm not always a fan of fast fashion. So find things at any store that I can go, oh my gosh, that is how that would look on me, or close to how it would look on me. And I mean, make fun of me forever, people listening, but it has changed my confidence to have other women showing me how clothes could look on me.
Of course. And everyone has different strengths, and not everyone's strength is getting dressed. Or no, some people don't want to spend all day finding something either. And so to be able to see something on someone you like, the way you look, I think, like you said, teenage girls, say all you will about social media. I agree with you, but that's the plus side.
Yeah. One of the things I'm going to list today, all the things I've purchased that you have given me links for. One of the things is a fish dress from Anthro.
Oh, there you go.
That I would have never picked out on my own. And I bought it to go to Greece. I wore it on my birthday. I mean, it is.
Well, Opa.
I know. When I saw it on you, I was like, oh, that's perfect.
It is.
So then I bought it and I loved it.
And it's in
and
your
everybody
core
else
memory.
did too, Sabrina. Yeah, everybody else did too.
Yeah, well, there you go. And then you'll always look at those pictures and remember Greece like that, eating your
fish.
That's
exactly right.
In a fish dress.
In the fish dress. Yep. Okay, will you talk me through, as a barely influencer or non-influencer, because I don't share links all that much. Talk to me about what does a Tuesday look like for you? Like, are you like 9 to 5 sitting at a desk? What's a work day look like for a person who shares links to clothes and shoes and things all day long?
It's 24/7 because some people are super organized. They have content calendars. They have ads that are set to run at certain times, certain days. They turn it in. There's a lot of back ends. Like you just said, Anthropologie is a great partner. They are perfect for me because the control it's not minimal, but compared to others, it's minimal. They say, turn it in by this day, give us 2 days to approve it, and then go ahead, pick something off this site. Like it's very organic and authentic in the sense of like, I picked that dress before I got offered the ad. They allowed me, I had already shared it from the dressing room. They allowed me to reshare it. Like it's super organic. So a Tuesday could be, I do things in real time for the majority, which is very rare also. Like I timestamp most things. Like I post as I go, as I buy, as I shop, as I wear, as I put it on. I share it almost live, which is not the norm. A lot of people, like I said, calendar things. Today is Anthro Day. Tomorrow is Nordstrom's. The next day is Target. I don't have an ad for 4 days, so I'm going to share holiday decor. You know, people organize it that way. I don't. And honestly, some brands I know when a sale is going to happen and some I don't. So when I see it, I post it very live, and it's all day, every day, truly. Like what I eat, where to buy it, where to this, you know, and I get to be a full-time mom too, which is the biggest blessing. And that's something I really believe in for people. Like this has given me a career while being a stay-at-home mom. So sometimes I can't do everything and I'm dropping balls, but it's not 9 to 5, it's round the clock.
Yeah.
And I think engagement is not just important for the algorithm, but for community building, trust. I get thrills from connecting to people. I'm answering DMs all day. Like I have to sit down and say like, I'm going to go through these DMs for 1 hour and then I let it go. And then 3 hours later, I come back and there might be 40 more. And, you know, I always say it's like someone at a desk has to answer emails. I have to answer these messages. Some are happier and more fun to answer than others, but I really do try and answer all my DMs. And I hope I always can. I actually have a very kind community, but sometimes, and a lot of, even I think the ones who don't mean to, it's like I work for them. Link. I'm like, how about hi, how are you? But it's just link, dress, shoe. A lot of people want to chat. Then I become a therapist, a friend. It's all different. It's you run the gamut of people. I don't get a lot of I will say, like, I've had some, but I don't get a lot of body shaming, which is a blessing. Like, I don't get a lot of like, shut up, you know,
Right.
fat. What I see other plus creators post that a lot. It doesn't happen to me. I get a lot of anti-Semitism lately. I get certain things that are a little negative, but like for the most part, it's pretty positive and it's a nice space, and I like talking to the people.
Yeah, the idea of body shaming online is so surprising to me for a creator who is sharing clothing, whether you're being shamed for being small, shamed for being tall, short, large, whatever it is. It doesn't make any sense to me because I'm like, well, don't you understand that that's what they're actually showing you their body to
Right.
help people. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me, I
It's
guess.
not any troll behavior behind the screen will never make sense to
That's right.
I think
That's right.
a sane human. Like, that's just the bottom line. You have to
Yeah.
accept that these people aren't making sense, like you said.
Yeah.
Let
So
it go.
so a lot of times you'll do things like tell me what you need and you'll do a question box. And then someone will say, "I'm going to my sister's wedding outside in England and I
Yep.
need size 16 to 18." And
Yep.
then you will find like 7 dress options. Do you have your favorite go-tos that you're always like, "Okay, let me go check these 5 places," or tell me the process of how you find, and because the next person will say, "I need shoes for a formal dinner in
We
Barcelona."
You know how, I don't know who it is, Jimmy Kimmel, some late night host has the celebrity read the tweets about them. We got to do that with the
Yes.
questions because you get, and I like it. I say be specific because sometimes we'll be like
Yes.
going to a wedding in December, and I'm like, where? Are you going to Iceland? Are you going to Alaska? Are you going to Hawaii? Is it on the beach? Is it black tie? Is it in a formal? Is it in a ball
Right.
gown? Is it in a church? Is it in a? Are you going to Burning Man wedding? Like, I need to
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
And do you wear a size 2 or a 24? Like, so
Right.
yes, I like when it's specific, but you got to giggle because sometimes it literally is what you just said. Going to a castle in Edinburgh, in February could be cold, but
Right.
you know, like, it's a whole spiel. And I love to do that. And obviously there's places I normally look, and it does get redundant. I swear we're gonna make with Show Me Your Mumu a black dress that you can wear to an event from a size
You've got
extra extra
to.
small to a size 3X that is universal. Like, that is because events people really ask that over and over and over, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
just shared 5 black dresses. Do you need another one?
I
But
bought
I
one of
do
the black dresses you shared
well
for New Year's last year, black sequins, and I love it.
Well, I'll just keep on going. And
Yeah.
I like the question boxes. It's a lot of work because, like you said, I don't have a uniform answer. Like, I really do go search all day, and
Yeah.
stylists get paid for a reason, and this is a free service. So that's why we really appreciate when you use our links. But I like the question box, and I don't have I mean, some places you go over and over that you trust, but for the
Yeah.
majority, I look specifically to their request.
So do you just Google?
No, I know where I shop. You know, I'll
Yeah.
say, like, or because I shop so much and scroll so much, if someone says something specific, it will trigger. Like, I'll be like, I saw that on Shopbop, like that floral dress that
Right.
she's needs to go to Kauai in March for this person's bachelorette. That's perfect, and like, I'll just go type in on
Right.
Shopbop. You know,
Right.
sponsor me, Shopbop, and extend your sizing.
Right.
So yeah, sometimes it will just trigger a memory of seeing an item or a garment, and then sometimes I'll just search.
That is so
Google
impressive. Like it is.
Google is wild. You should never type into Google like floral dress. They will send you to some sketchy site from some
That's right.
children's workshop in the East, and it's
Yes.
not. Yeah,
Yeah. How do you balance that, Sabrina? How do you make sure that the places you're sending people are as ethical as possible for you to know?
it's a hard one for a uniquely plus size audience. People ask me a lot. A friend who's a editor at Vanity Fair, when I first started a couple years ago, said, like, let's not do so much fast fashion. And I said, well, then let's produce more extended sizing in contemporary
Right.
wear because it doesn't really exist. And that's a study on
Wow.
socioeconomic, like, that's a big picture. That's not a fun conversation to have because they target socioeconomic people who tend to be bigger, and, you know, like, it's a very complicated answer. And
Yeah.
places like Sheen or Shein or whatever you want to call it, I don't post it anymore because of other, you know, they were selling swastikas, but they
Oh
produce plus
Lord.
size clothing. Like, I'm not going to stop buying it from most places until other places offer me the same. Like, it's very complicated.
It's really
I
complicated.
I do try, like I just said, there's some moral equivalences that I just won't, but yeah, fast fashion has serviced plus size people more than ready to wear has historically. People are changing, and there's brands that are doing terrific jobs, and I try to share them mostly. H&M you think of as fast fashion, and they're really trying to be globally more ethical in their production and in their waste. So you can see on their website, they tell you the percentage that they're working to. They tell you so some fast fashion is moving towards ethical practice, sustainable practice. And I do try, but that's a big conversation because, and when brands meet with me and they say, we want to start extending sizes, but we've noticed that the community, isn't willing to spend $400 on a sweater. I'm like, because they've never been serviced. They're not used to it. They can say, we can just go to Walmart, which carries my size in store, and buy a $30 sweater at Walmart. So what's going to train people to then spend $400 on a sweater from a smaller, ethical, sustainable, more fashionable situation? It's a real, it's like a generational thing that I think is changing. We're moving towards, but that's a problem with fast fashion and plus size, like interlude.
I am learning real time. I have never thought about how much easier it is to get a wide variety of sizing, and the cheaper the clothes are.
Yeah, it's
that
a
is
fact.
Fascinating.
Fashion has, high
Where's
fashion.
that documentary? That's the next thing
we
need that's what you need to make, is a documentary on how to ethical fashion for all sizes.
Right. It's hard.
Dude,
people are trying.
Yeah. Wow. That sounds fun. Hey friends, just interrupting this conversation real quick to share about one of our amazing partners, ZocDoc. Have you ever been on the hunt for a new doctor and you literally ask everyone you know for their recommendation? Then after weeks of searching, you find the one. So you make an appointment, but then the receptionist tells you, this literally just happened to me with a dentist. The receptionist tells you the perfect doctor doesn't take your insurance or doesn't have time to see you quite yet. Listen, you can skip the headache, and ZocDoc will help you find and book the doctor who is right for you and takes your insurance. ZocDoc is a free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat almost any condition you are searching for. These docs all have verified reviews from actual real patients, not bots. And the average wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is just between 24 and 48 hours. That is it. You can even score some same-day appointments. I've used it. It is really so helpful. So go to ZocDoc.com/thatsoundsfun and download the ZocDoc app for free, and then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/thatsoundsfun. ZocDoc.com/thatsoundsfun. That link and pretty much every other link you could ever hope for, they're all in the show notes, or we'll just send them right to you in Friday's AFD Week in Review with a lot of other fun stuff. Make sure you're signed up for that email. The link is in the show notes for that as well. One more amazing partner to tell you about is Hiya Health. Listen, if you are looking for a children's vitamin that is both tasting good and doesn't have a bunch of junk in it, check out Hiya Health. A lot of kids' vitamins end up having unnecessary sugar and unhealthy chemicals in them. So Hiya was created so you can feel good about what you're giving my mini BFFs. Hiya isn't candy in disguise. Instead, it's pressed with a blend of 12 organic fruits and veggies, then filled with 15 essential vitamins and minerals like vitamin D, B12, C, zinc, folate, and many others. And it helps support immunity, energy, brain function, mood, concentration, teeth, bones, more. But listen, it is non-GMO, vegan, dairy-free, allergy-free, gelatin-free, and nut-free. Y'all, it is a win-win-win. Not to mention, your first shipment comes with these cute little stickers for your kids to stick on their bottles. And Hiya is also sent straight to your door, so you don't have to worry about another thing on your shopping list. We've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamins. You get 50% off your first order. So go claim this deal at hiyahealth.com/thatsoundsfun. That's HIYAHEALTH.com/thatsoundsfun, and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. Okay, now back to our conversation with Sabrina. That sounds fun. It is a funny thing when you walk into stores. I mean, I don't know how old you are. Sorry, I'm 43, but I grew up with the 579 store. Yeah. I never walked into it once. I mean, and that was, to me, that was the like nice store. And I thought, well, I don't swear single digits. I haven't worn single digits since elementary school. So
or
I don't wear
even
single digits.
big department stores legally have to carry like they have to have a baby section, like a Macy's or even a
Yeah.
Bloomingdale's, no matter how nice
Yes.
you are. When you get
Yes.
labeled a department store, it's a part of, I don't know what contract. We got to get the counselor back. You have to carry baby. You have to carry plus. You have to have a kitchen. You have to have you have to run the gamut. So then, growing up, I would go to Bloomingdale's right by our house at Fashion Island with friends in high school, and they would go to the third story where it's fashionable and cute, and I'd be with the kitchenware in the bottom corner secretly, like where they shove the little corner of plus size. So even if they had it was like an afterthought, shameful experience. You can never just shop with your friend in the regular fashionable tween area.
Yeah. And what you're seeing now is how much better than that. It's not all the way better than that. It's not like, well, now it's all just fine. We're all equal shequel. But
the
what do you see
part
happening?
Is what we just talked about. It went forward and it's going back again, because I think these brands, so many terrific, ready to wear brands started extending, didn't get the response fast enough. It's very expensive. It's a risk, right? If you have investors and you're saying like, we're going to spend this much and try to make up to a 2x, and then you produce and then it doesn't sell, and then you're sitting with this inventory and you haven't moved it, and then the risk is too large to keep going. But things take time. I've talked about before, and I sound like beating a dead horse here, but even Old Navy, which to me is pretty mainstream, accessible, like the ultimate American accessible strip mall store. They make plus online always, up to a 4x, all the things. They tried to put it in stores equally a year ago. They did this whole thing, 1 quarter, and they went like into the red, 25% deficit. Things were sitting on the floor. Nothing was moving. The size 2s, I think 8s is their like bread and butter. They sold out too fast, because then people would go in the store, there wouldn't be size 8s because they were scaling wrong. So like they would put the same amount of 4Xs as the same amount of 8s. People who didn't know that it's in store yet, they saw a huge 25% drop. They can't afford that. They took it off the floors immediately. They only left it in certain stores that are in socioeconomic areas that they know people are the majority of size 3X, 4X. So they kept them in a couple stores, and then they pulled it so fast because they can't take that risk. So imagine being a small company. I don't want to name names, but there's small fashionable companies that tried and they pulled it very fast. Staud is one of them, Staud, a brand I love. I was so excited, but we're not trained to keep going back for $500 dresses over and over. People didn't know it was being made. They pulled it within a year. So I think like a lot want to, or tried, or were convinced that like this is the way to go. And then they were like, see, it's a business. You see the dotted line and you can't. And they pulled back too fast. And so when
people are getting gift cards at Hanukkah, at Christmas this year, where are your favorite stores? If they just had a gift card for a Visa gift card, and they're like, you know what, I want to buy some fashionable clothes for my body, whatever their sizing is. Where are some of your favorite stores that have a wide variety? Like, where should we be shopping? I don't like to but you know what I mean?
No, you should listen. Your fish dress is a perfect example. Anthropologie does a really good job. Yeah, they do. Another big
They make
box,
you feel so normal in the store.
Right.
And like, it's cute. Just like, oh, look at all these sizes.
Right.
I really
not every
that.
store carries their extended range, but I would take a gift card, and certain ones do, and they try. Like the flagships, they're extending. I just think they do a really good job in the sense of their internal production is producing a lot of plus, their brands, and when they do collabs with brands, they force them to sometimes extend the sizes they've never done before. I have a friend who has a workout clothing. I shouldn't say that. It's a big brand now. It's a lifestyle brand. And she's doing a collab with Anthro, and it's the first time she'll produce plus because Anthro is backing it. It's kind of like when a brand collabs with Target and they say, like, that's why everyone's like, you only buy the Target Love Shack Fancy. I'm like, because Love Shack Fancy stops at an extra large. When they collab with Target, they go through to a 3X. It's not just because it's more affordable. It's because Target allows them the production end to carry the inventory of the plus size. So Anthro is great. Another big box store that honestly does a really good job is J. Crew. J. Crew makes
Okay.
everything, almost everything. I would say 95%, except some of their more expensive collection line. They make everything from a size triple extra small to a
Wow.
triple extra large. And they really do it across the board. It's not just a couple of SKUs. Like they try and produce everything in petite to plus. And it's, you know, it's classic and fashionable. And they have a really great director right now, Olympia Marie. And she's moving it into like not, you know, I don't think, not to put the Gap down. I buy things from the Gap, but I don't think of it as a Gap. Like J. Crew has moved into fashion more.
Yeah. It feels like that. The one in Nashville particularly feels like it's had some sort of shift out of like khaki white Oxford, which I love,
Right.
into patterned. And it feels like it's taken, like,
The
not that it
silhouettes
turned left, but something.
Yep, exactly. It turned up.
It turned up. That's exactly right. They turned
Yep.
up.
Yep.
Okay, what I'm thinking of some gifts you share a lot. This is our like holiday gifting show. So
Yep,
what
let's
are
do it.
some gifts that we should be giving, could be giving this Christmas that we can still get 10 days out from needing to have everything wrapped?
Yeah. Have you ever tried the ice roller?
Girl, I have one.
Oh,
And
good.
I have both. I have the pink and the green.
Yeah.
And I'm already gifting it to the person that I'm in charge of at Christmas. I hope my cousin doesn't listen to this.
Yep. I buy it for everyone. Like I put them in, they go everywhere. And I gave one to my dad. I'm like, I don't care who you are. Like he gets headaches sometimes or dizzy. I'm like, just put that ice roller on your eye, push it around and you're going to feel better. So everyone needs an ice roller. And they also, you can get an entry level, which I love the Amazon one. I'm sorry. Thanks, Jeff Bezos. It's $10. And then people swear by the Skinny Confidential. She's an influencer and she makes her own. And it's like a $70 ice roller.
I haven't tried that. I have your $10 one.
Yep, they say it stays cold longer, and it is terrific, but I do like my cheapie. But if you're fancy and bougie, you can get the fancy one. But ice rollers are absolutely a necessity for everyone. Teenagers to grandmas.
Yes. Where do we find jewelry if we want to give jewelry this year?
Well, that's the other thing. Same thing, different price ranges. There's so many. Houston Diamond Girl is terrific. She's on Instagram, and she really, it's authentic stones, and at like retail, it's not at retail prices, at wholesale pricing. She does a really good job with pricing. My friend Ariel Gordon, I love all of her stuff. I always wear a strawberry opal she makes. I wear her helium hearts every day. She's terrific. There's honestly, people are super into this lab grown diamond girl, Dorsey, Dorsey. I am a fan of the styles. I don't have any yet, but people really love them. They're very popular. That's the new thing, is lab grown. I have not gone into that yet. All my stuff's real or fake, you know, like there's no I don't have that yet, but it's very popular.
I don't even know what lab grown is. Lab grown diamonds?
Yes, it's like the thing, which scares me a little because they say you can take it to a jeweler and they test the same as a diamond.
Oh boy.
And so it's like not a cubic zirconia or whatever those little stones are called. And it's not a diamond. It's lab. I don't know if it's a diamond. They grow them in the lab and they mirror like the scientific makeup of a real diamond. And
dear whoever marries me, get one of those. Get one of those. I don't care.
Well, that is actually an argument, as you said, ethically. Like people say, like there's no ethical argument. There's no blood on that diamond. It's grown in a lab in America. They're very popular. I'm not endorsing that for all fiancés out there, just so you know. However, it's a great option. It's a great option. Very popular. Jewelry. I wear so much jewelry. I could talk about jewelry all day, to be honest. Everyone needs a signet ring. I would say that. Google that up. Get yourself a monogram signet ring. Wear it on your pinky. Feels very royal. I've worn one my whole life. I'm like such a jewelry person. What else do we want? A pearl. I love pearls. Ariel Gordon makes my favorite pearl. And it's actually, I would say, not to put her pricing down, her stuff can feel very luxury. And the pearl that I love is more accessible. I think it's $300, maybe $250. And it's a drop Baroque pearl you can put on any chain and you can put on the pearl. I'm not wearing it currently, but I love it and I wear it very often. You can have birthstones put on it. She'll put 3 little stones on the pearl, which is super cute. And so for me, I put my 2 children's birthstones, and then the counselor, my husband's birthstone, is the same as mine. So we have all 3 on my pearl that I wear. It's a super good gift. Mother's Day, Christmas, you name it. Like, it's personal and a great like heirloom piece of jewelry.
What else are we gifting this year?
So many. I gift myself a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's my problem on Cyber Monday is I become my own Santa Claus.
Right. That's the thing. Ho, ho, ho. Mrs. Claus is going to be sparkling. I love this small brand on Instagram. Her name is Young, Wild, and Free. Friedman. Okay. I'm going to look it up right now. She does sensory kits for kids, and they are the best. Like, all themes: Christmas, Hanukkah, Easter, birthday. My son had one that was like not fire trucks, construction trucks, like all different things. Young, Wild, and Friedman, and she does the best Mama 4 original Play-Doh kit sensory play. Well, she's doing great. 200,000. Look her up. Young, Wild, and Friedman. And she does sensory bins and like she does holiday kits. Those are terrific gifts for kids because they're cute, happy. You're supporting a small business and they're good for them. So yes, that's about the only gift I've ordered for my children besides Squishmallows and sensory bins from Young, Wild, and Friedman. Yeah, she's great. And I think it's like such a nice thing. Because, like I said, it's good for their mind. You're supporting a small business, and she does every theme you could think of. She does Santa. I think she does an elf kit. Like she does all. Oh gosh, yep. We're halfway through that Elf on the Shelf life. It's a lot. Yeah. Gifting. Oh, I just bought a bunch of sets from Merit that I'm going to give as like thank you gifts. Le Labo candles. Anthro has a roll-on that smells like my mom's Estee Lauder Gardenia perfume. That's $300 and the roller's $14. I bought a lot of those. So you could give an ice roller, a Gardenia perfume roller, a candle. I mean, that sounds so basic, but people like that. And I am not a Stanley Cup giver. So don't expect me to give Stanley Cups, but I am a canvas tote bag giver. Monogram that. Girl. You just get you could put all your favorite things.
I bought 10 last night.
See, it's on. We're in a little bit of a turmoil at my house right now moving, and there are so many canvas bags around. Sports, each kid has one. One says junk, I just shove them, but they're really great gifts, truly, for kids, for parents, for friends, for bachelorettes, for everything. Like just canvas bag, and you can't have enough. So if someone already has one, it doesn't matter. Yep.
I used your link to get the LL Bean ones that zip closed.
Yes,
I was like I don't have a single one that zip closes, so I'm going to get it's for our family vacation this summer. We do like a tote bag with some things in it. I'm the welcome committee of the family vacation, so I'm in charge of that part.
You guys are fancy.
Well, we just are extra. So I'm not sure we're fancy because I got LL Bean bags for whatever, $15 each or some crazy deal.
Yeah, but personalized, like that's such a dream. And that's another argument. We could talk about the LL Bean versus the Land's End bags. They're very similar, but very different because...
Oh, which ones did I get last night? Did I get Land's End? What code did you share?
They both could have, last night was Land's End. LL Bean, the difference, the fabric it's good. I buy them both. But they're different and people, it's a cult following. Some people are very loyal to one or the other. Not me, I'm cheating over here. I got them all floating around.
That's right. Okay, what are the differences?
The zipper on the LL Bean is gold. It is a little bit... I like that look. It's got a gold zipper. The Land's End one is like just a canvas zipper. Land's End has an inside pocket. You got the inside pocket, which is clutch. I really love a pocket because, I'm shoving lip gloss and sunscreen and headbands and hairbands and ice rollers, shoving everything into the pocket. The LL Bean looks a little chicer, but there's no pocket. So they're different. And the strap lengths are different. And one is stiffer than the other. Yep. This is very important knowledge.
No kidding. This is why you're the expert, Sabrina. When we were planning out our Christmas episodes, I was like, I know exactly who I need to tell us what to buy this year. Okay, give us an option for the men in our lives. What are we getting them this year?
Men. Oh my gosh. It's so boring. I bought Alex new AirPods.
Right.
I don't even know if they're called earpods or AirPods, but he uses them all the time. He told me we were driving the other day and I was talking about Israel and I looked at him and I said, are you listening? And he's driving, so his right ear is facing my left side, and there's nothing in it. I'm like, hello? And then he secretly had in the other ear, he's listening to a podcast, which is great for your business, but a little frustrating for
your
me.
marriage.
Yep. And men, what can we? I always tell people to buy a pressure washer. Amazon has a perfect one. I'm gonna link it when this goes up. It's a gift to all because it's a honey-do. You go use that pressure washer, and it's like addicting, like magical how good it is, and it's so reasonable. Like some of them are $500. This one's like $140, and sometimes it gets a 30% off, a 10% off, a daily deal. And I love a pressure washer as a gift. So there you go. Also, I will link this, non-commissionable, but I'm gonna not gatekeep here. If your husband golfs, the counselor is a sneakerhead, and you can turn any pair of sneakers into golf shoes. He has this website that he loves. He always says like that's the best gift. You can get like a pair of Nikes, send it off. Like Air Force One suddenly are golf shoes, and this brand puts the bottom on for you. That's a cool gift if a man golfs in your life. Monogrammed crystal, like, oh, you're from Tennessee, like an old-fashioned whiskey glass. I get those sometimes for people. I have a good link for that. So,
okay, yes, you'll share all these today when everybody's listening so we can go and great.
Happy to.
I'll share them too, but that's great. That sounds fun. Hey friends, just interrupting this conversation one more time to share about one of our amazing partners, Indeed. Listen, we are definitely in the we'll circle back on that in the new year phase. So if hiring is one of those things you're going to circle back to in January, you've got to use Indeed. We all know it can feel like this giant, overwhelming search for the right person. But when it comes to hiring, Indeed helps you take the search out of the picture and instead matches you with the best fit. We have found the best teammates from using Indeed. It is the matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data. You can use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. And friends of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/soundsfun. Just go to Indeed.com/soundsfun right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/soundsfun. Terms and conditions apply. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Okay, now back to finish up our conversation with Sabrina. That sounds fun. Okay, so your family is Jewish, so y'all are in the midst of celebrating Hanukkah.
Yep.
I've never celebrated Hanukkah. Do you seriously get gifts every night? Do you get nice gifts every night?
Everyone's different. I'm also someone who loves Christmas and does a lot of presents on Christmas. I always say, I hope this doesn't offend you or your listeners, but I always say that there was no Jew that loves Christmas more than Jesus and I.
That's right.
So we really do Christmas gifts a lot. My husband grew up with 8 terrific gifts on Hanukkah. I do little like stocking stuffer type gifts on Hanukkah. I do the first night something like significant. Sometimes the last night his parents send 8 gifts for the kids, which I'm always like, no, just give them like a set of crayons and some socks tomorrow. But So I think every family does it differently. I really focus on like lighting the candles and celebrating the festival of lights for Hanukkah, not the presents. And then at Christmas we do a lot of presents. But I think everyone's different. It depends.
How did you and Alex meet?
College. He's in my cousin's fraternity in undergrad, and we had a Jewish fraternity. We had a water polo game. I was visiting their college that weekend, and I went to their fraternity like softball game. So young.
And you said babies. That one. You said that second baseman is mine.
Anyone over 6 foot here? That's great.
Was it important to you when you were dating to marry a Jewish man?
Yes, I feel I feel more today than ever. But what do you do? It's a modern world. Like love is love. I'm not a monster, but yes, I do feel.
Well, I'm looking for a Christian man. I don't think it's monstrous to find someone who matches your ideals and your ideas and what your family values and the faith that you value.
Absolutely. I feel really strongly about that. Like when you're in your home, it just makes things easier. Life is hard enough. Like you need to share those values, and not to get holy roller on you, but I really feel that way for Jews. Like we're 0.02% of the world,
Right.
Like we have faced genocide for thousands of years and pogroms and all those things. Like the Jewish bloodline is really dying. And I sound like a 90-year-old Holocaust survivor, but
no.
I really feel strongly about it. Obviously, if my child meets someone and marries them that's not Jewish, I love them. It's fine. But it is important to me, and that's my preference. I hope this doesn't come back to bite me that it's on
No.
audio, but it's important. Like, it really is. It's a religion, sure, but it's also an ethnicity that's dying, and a culture. And, there's 14 or 15 million total in the world. People have more Instagram followers than that, tenfold.
Yeah. It is one of the most interesting things that a relatively small community is so center in the narrative of the world.
Yeah. I mean, we could turn that corner and talk about that. I think
I'd love for you to, because it's been, I told you this before we started, but I have been really, I want to honor you for how you have gone to work every day and done your job every day while really suffering and being afraid and being sad about the state of the world for Jewish people right now.
Yeah, it's a very real thing at the forefront of my mind all day, every day. I don't know how to emphasize the fact that we are 0.02% of the world. I don't understand how atrocities can happen to us, and people who we have marched with for every other cause aren't horrified and passionately supporting. I don't care if you don't like the politics of Israel. Like, this is a one country the size of New Jersey that exists for a reason. 6 million Jews were murdered in World War II 70 years ago. It wasn't 2,000 years ago, but if you want to talk 2,000 years ago, I'm happy to. But I feel very strong that my husband is, every time I get scared, he's like, you have to keep speaking and be proud. And it's the most important. I saw a video yesterday of an Israeli soldier. When you live in Israel, you mandatory military service when you turn 18, and they said, hey, American Jews, like, think of this as your service. Like, you should be fighting the online anti-Semitism and the information wars. Like, tell the truth, like, show what's really happening. And I really believe, like, we're looking at good versus evil. Like, I am not anti-Palestinian. I'm pro two-state solution. I believe in everyone's plight to life, but we're fighting a terrorist organization who wants to wipe the whole, every Jew off the world. And they're not stopping with Jews. I'm sorry. They're coming for Christians next. Like, they have said in their charter and out loud, first the Saturday people, then the Sunday people. Like, and I watched a video with the son of Hamas who lives in Florida. His father was literally a founding member of Hamas. And he said, today I watched it, he said, if Israel fails in Gaza, we are all next. And I really believe that. And I don't understand how the Western world specifically would not be supportive of that, because for me, it's pretty clear. Like, obviously there's nuances to everything, but when someone says, but, I'm like, there is no but. These people broke into, this is unprecedented. You've never seen babies ripped out of beds and murdered, and we've just never seen this kind of cruelty, and they're not stopping there. And unfortunately, it's a bigger axis. Like, this is Iran. Like, we marched with the women of Iran. We don't want the regime there. I support Iranian people. Like, this is all an axis of that, and you want to be a part of supporting that. It's so ironic to me and stupid. Like, everything feels shocking and scary. And I've kind of stopped saying much, because this is a job, and I do want to bring joy, and I do want to go shopping, and I'm learning, which I've never done before, to try and separate these two things, but it's near impossible.
It's amazed me how I think you've balanced it beautifully from an observer side, because you have told the truth of what you are feeling as a Jewish woman raising Jewish children in Jewish family, and you still give us links. Like, and as we talked about before, I mean, nurses are still going to work, and teachers. I mean, this is your job, but it's harder when it's your face and you're doing carpool catwalk and you're putting lip gloss on in the car and having to share links where you're going through that.
I think a fundamental thing to say about what you just said, and I don't want to cry, is that is a Jewish principle. Like, we will still celebrate simchas, which are happy occasions. Like life is the most important thing to Jewish people. Like that is the Old Testament. Like life comes first, and you can't succumb. I mean, this is American too, like to terrorism. Like I'm not going to not make money because a terrorist is trying to murder every member of our bloodline. I'm not going to not spread joy and have light and raise my children and feel safe where like you have to go on, and you see like people have to get married, babies have to be born, and we need to celebrate those things in every life and every moment. And I think that's a core value of Judaism, and I hope that that shines through. And I just doesn't mean I'm not dark behind the scenes or when my kids go to bed and all those things, but it's so important. Like, what else is there?
Yeah. My hope is that, I mean, the beauty of Hanukkah is that it is the oil lasted. Like there was light and darkness. And so my hope is this year, as y'all have been celebrating Hanukkah, and your Hanukkah is, as people are hearing this, it's a couple of days left, that it just feels like a light season in the midst of a really dark season for our Jewish friends.
Yeah, and I think it shows like we all have to believe that the light will prevail, and that miracles will always happen, and that history shows us that we still exist, and that light will always shine through.
Yes. I mean, the Jewish people, you're God's chosen people. I mean, that is not ever going to be undone.
Yeah, well,
I mean, Jesus talked, even to us, Jesus talked all the time about like, I'm a Gentile, I'm grafted in to your family, right? But you're the chosen people.
well, I don't know. Scripture, I'll take any support, but I sure wish people would wake up and, for whatever reason, whether it's religious, moral,
Yeah.
any survival, democratic, that people would start realizing like what's going on and the actual facts, the truth. Like it is, I've been there. Like I'm telling you the facts. Like this is not, we lived through 9/11, and now the TikTok generation is celebrating bin Laden. Like
shocking.
It's surreal.
Yeah.
Watching hostages be exchanged, innocent families taken from their homes for people who have stabbed and attempted murder and tried to blow things up. And that's supposed to be a moral equivalence. Like people, I don't know how people don't see and aren't outraged on the other side, like, or scared for themselves, if that's what it has to come down to.
One of the beautiful things about living in New York during this season has been I'm up close to a lot more Jewish family and friends than I am in Nashville. I have a few, but not as many. And not far from my house, maybe early November. I don't think I've told you this, Sabrina. Maybe early November on a Friday night that I got off the subway and I turned the corner, and there was a huge Shabbat meal laid out outside. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know there was a temple right here. I didn't know there was a synagogue right here. And it was actually a table set out for all of the kidnapped.
Yeah, they've done that a lot.
Oh,
Hostages.
it was, I mean, the kids, I mean, I stood there and just cried, and I thought, this is showing me what I could not see, that there's a sippy cup on this table next to this child's poster. And so it has, being privileged to see that up close here changed me. So I am grateful I turned left out of the subway instead of right that one day. I don't know why. And
I'm
got
grateful
to see
too,
that
because
table.
People need to see that and need to understand that there's a difference between a prisoner of war who's a soldier, and not that I think that's great, and a child with a sippy cup taken from their Shabbat table. It's just unfathomable.
Yes. Agreed. Well, thank you for talking about that. It mattered to me that we got to chat about that, because it's been in a terrible time. It's been beautiful to watch you bring as much of that as you felt comfortable to bring to your social media life. And so thank you for talking about that and for sharing about that.
Yeah, thank you. And I hope if people are listening, we're not only getting information from influencers like me. Obviously, I have a unique perspective. My husband has spent a lot of time there. He happens to be quite learned about it. But I still believe in, the media and true journalists and books that I can recommend. And there's people out there with a lot of information that I would love to share. If you're more interested, you can always DM me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sabrina, thanks for making time to do this today. You gave us a lot of good information and lots of gifts we can buy.
Yeah, I hope it was. I hope it was fun. I hope that there's things you want.
For me.
Me too.
Girl. Okay, the last question we need to ask you though is on this special holiday episode edition. What is a favorite holiday snack that we have got to try?
Guys, holiday snacks are wild. I have a confession. I am an Instacart addict. I'm always adding to the cart, but this last couple weeks, keep going into stores and everybody's making holiday snacks. Like I saw,
good.
It's so good. I'm in love with, those pretzels. Gosh, I should have looked up the brand. I didn't know you were going to ask me. The flat pretzels that they dip in dark chocolate, and there's all the flavors. They have ones with with candy canes on them right now. Peppermint.
Absolutely, I know what you're talking
pretzel with dark chocolate. That is unbelievable. I just keep eating those. And in my head, I'm like, it's just a pretzel.
It's a pretzel. This is a carb.
It's just a pretzel. But I will say, we had a flop. I got so excited about the Ritz making the fudge-covered Ritz because everyone knows about Christmas crack, right? Like people take their Ritz crackers and dip them in butter and make it like a toffee chocolate. It's not the same as when Grandma makes it.
No.
Like the boxed, packaged fudge Ritz didn't do it for me, and the homemade version does. So...
Okay, that's great to know because the homemade version to me is like when I see those, there's someone when we do tours, one of our friends that comes to multiple shows, she will often bring us like a tray of chocolate dip Ritzes and I do not slow down eating those. So
that's what I mean. And when I saw a boxed one, I was like, oh my God, Nabisco hit the jackpot. Genius. Right. And then I was like, what's happening? I shared... I posted them. I'm like, can someone explain? Like, are these are either the best thing or the worst thing? I can't figure it out. And the amount of replies that people are like, try putting peanut butter, try putting some extra chocolate, like dip it in your own, put a little Malden salt on it. I'm like, I'm not supposed to have to doctor it.
I shouldn't have to work this hard. Right. Yeah. I paid for it.
So that was a flop. But the dark chocolate covered pretzels with the peppermint is a real problem.
That's the one. Okay. Yeah, you need to today we should share that with your link, your Amazon affiliate link to Amazon to get through those.
Yeah. Those are life-changing. I just sat the full Thanksgiving break and I haven't stopped since.
Well done. Well, happy Hanukkah. Do we say that every day of Hanukkah? Is that true?
Yeah, happy everything, right? Like I said, let's celebrate it all, buy it all, shop, celebrate, gift. I love an ornament exchange. I am all for happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Thanks, Sabrina. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Oh, you guys, don't you just love her? I'm so grateful for what she taught us about her experience in the last few months, but also all the things she taught us that we need to buy for ourselves and our friends. So hurry over to her social media. We've linked it all over the place. She has put up everything she talked about is available for you in her stories on her feed. I figure that's where she's going to put it. Those are the two spots. And just tell her thanks so much for being on the show. And remember, when our friends who are influencers show us links and codes, we use them because they're doing the work to find the things that we want to buy. And it doesn't cost us anything to just use their link. So let's go use Sabrina's links. If you have any questions from this episode, drop them in the Q&A box on your Spotify app if you're a Spotify listener, or you can send them to us on Instagram at That Sounds Fun Podcast. We'll try to answer them there. Make sure you're following That Sounds Fun Podcast. It is a fun place to be. If you need anything else from me, you know I'm embarrassingly easy to find. Annie F. Downs on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, back in Nashville, anywhere you need me, that's where you can find me. I think that's it for me today, friends. Go out or stay home, do something that sounds fun to you, and I will do the same. Today, what sounds fun to me is finishing up my outline for teaching at Crosspoint on Sunday. If you're in Nashville and you want to come on, we're at 9, 11, and 5:30. And you can also watch me preach online at 9, 11, or 5:30 Central. So pray for me this weekend. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday with, oh boy, get ready for it. Maybe the episode you request the most. I can't believe he made time for us again. You guys, Monday, we're seeing and hearing from Santa Claus. We'll see y'all then.